Hello friends, welcome to Bankers platform. Today we have come again with new set of questions for our subject of GIB, that is legal and regulatory aspects of banking. So in this section we will be discussing friends memory recall questions and the most expected questions for the GIB exam. And I hope so, friends, you all are pass in your exam of accounts, which was today only. And please share your score if you have passed the exam. And if you have not cleared the exam, then prepare for your exam for the next session of GIB. So let's begin. So friends, before starting, please like this video and share this video with your friends who are preparing for GIB exam so that they can also get benefit of this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's move to our questions. So in this section, friends, we will be discussing 30 questions. We will be discussing 30 questions, and these 30 questions are having a lot of possibility to come in the exam. So now only less time is there. Tomorrow only you are going to take exam. So please write 1 to 30 counting on your notebook so that you can check out that your preparation level and share your score. How much score you are getting out of 30 in the comment section. That will give you the idea of your preparation level. So let's start with our first question. So our first question is lien of a banker is known as implied pledge because our options are goods are retained by the bank in its custody. These are part of same act, Indian Contract Act, in which pledge is covered. None of the given option is correct. And D, goods and securities are in possession of the bank and can be sold after giving notice to the borrower in case of default as in case of pledge. So the right answer of this question is D. So D is the right answer. As you all know, friends, that lien is a banker's right. So according to this, it is a implied pledge. And why it is implied pledge? Because goods and securities are in the possession of the bank, and the bank can sell that by giving the notice to the borrower in case of default. So let's move to next question. Question number 2. A guardian A guardian appointed for a minor by his father through a will is called natural guardian, testamentary guardian, willed guardian, legal guardian. And the right answer of this question is B, that is testamentary guardian. Let's move to next question. Question number 3. So first question number 3 is related to banking ombudsman. As you know, banking ombudsman is a very important topic with respect to our exam of LRIB. So let's see the question. Reserve Bank of India has formulated banking ombudsman scheme and set up banking ombudsman offices at various centers across the country. The Banking Ombudsman Scheme is introduced under Section Dash of the Banking Regulation Act 1949 by RBI. So friends, here you have to tell under which section of Banking Regulation Act this Banking Ombudsman Scheme is introduced. So the right answer of this fill up is Section 35A. So Section 35A of Banking Regulation Act is there under which this banking ombudsman scheme is introduced. So the banking ombudsman charge dash fee for filing and resolving customers complaint. So here you have to tell how much fee is charged by the banking ombudsman for filing and resolving the customer's complaint. And the right answer is there, no fee. No fee is charged. So banking ombudsman charges no fee. So friends, इस तरह से क्वेश्चन वहां पे आपको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए पूछे जाएंगे, because what happens that whenever you are there, if your concept is not clear, then you may be trapped by the options, because sometimes you know the answer but you are not having the depth knowledge of that particular topic. So in that situation, these things makes difference, so be very thorough. Now not much time is there, but whatever time is there, you should only revise now and prepare this. So our next is banking ombudsman shall have the power to pass an award directing payment by way of compensation for any loss suffered by the complainant is limited to the amount arising directly out of the act or omission of the bank or रुपीज डैश विच एवर इज लोअर. सो जो बैंकिंग ओबर्ट्समैन है वो कितने तक का अवार्ड पास कर सकते हैं. सो हियर यू हैव टू गिव आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन एंड द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज 20 lakhs. सो जो बैंकिंग ओबर्ट्समैन है वो 20 लाख तक का अवार्ड पास कर सकते हैं और the amount of the complaint whichever is lower. Okay, so let's move to next question. And banking ombudsman is very important topic. From here 3 to 4 marks questions can be asked, so you should you should be prepared for this. Let's move to next question. Question number 4. Which of the following is the basic objective of financial inclusion? So, to deliver banking services at an affordable cost to the vast section of disadvantaged and low income group, to open deposit accounts without strict conditions, to allow collateral free loans. All the given options are taken together. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer of this question is A, that is to deliver banking services at an affordable cost to the vast section of disadvantaged and low income group. So financial inclusion means we have to reach the doorstep of each and every individual of our country. As you know, in the rural areas the banking services are not at the par, so these financial inclusion guidelines are issued by the Reserve Bank of India and Government of India, so that our financial sector can reach to them. So let's move to next question. Question number 5. On customer request, the bank has registered the nomination in favor of Mr. Z. Now the customer wants that the name of nominee should be indicated on passbook also. सो यहाँ पे आपको फ्रेंड द कस्टमर जो है वो बैंक को रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है कि जो नेम है नॉमिनी का वो पासबुक पे हो. ओके, तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा, लेट्स सी what is the right answer here. Our options are A, this can be done as there is a request from the customer. This can be done at the discretion of the bank. This cannot be done. Bank does not disclose the information about customer in this manner. So let's see what is the correct answer of this question. And the right answer is A, that is this can be done as there is request from customer. So agar friends customer request kar raha hai, then we can print the name of the nominee also on the passbook. Because but usually banks they don't show the name of the nominee on the passbook, but it is shown that nominee is registered or not. But if customer is requesting, then we can provide the name on the passbook. So nomination is also very important topic, and from nomination 1 to 2 marks questions are asked in the exam. So various type of nomination norms are there. So let's see next question. Question number 6. Personal identification number PIN is required to be used even for non-cash withdrawal transaction because it establishes the authenticity of the customer. It is mandatory KYC requirement. It helps in checking Benami accounts, all the above. So let's see what is the correct answer. And the right answer is A. Is it establishes the authenticity of the customer. So let's move to next question. Question number 7. Which of the following types of crossing of a bill of exchange is permitted? So हमें बताना है कि कौन सी क्रॉसिंग है जो बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज पे परमिट है. Our options are general crossing, non-negotiable crossing, account pay crossing, bill of exchange cannot be crossed. So let's see what is the correct answer. And the right answer is D. That is bill of exchange cannot be crossed. So bill of exchange is friends related to our negotiable instrument. And here negotiable instrument is very important topic. 4 to 5 marks are asked from the negotiable instrument topic. So here if your negotiable instrument topic is clear, then 4 to 5 marks you are easily going to get from the exam. So let's see next question. Question number 8. X and Y have following accounts and they want to nominate A and B. In these accounts, in which of these accounts it will be possible? तो फ्रेंड्स एक्स और वाई जो है उनका एक अकाउंट है और वो नॉमिनेट करना चाहते हैं दो लोगों को, दैट इज ए एंड बी. तो उनके कौन से अकाउंट में ऐसा पॉसिबल है? और ऑप्शंस आर ए जॉइंट लॉकर विद ईदर अ सर्वाइवर ऑपरेशन, a jointly operated locker, a joint saving bank account, a joint safe custody of articles account. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer is B, a jointly operated locker. So friends, अगर कभी भी jointly operated locker है, उस केस में हम दो नॉमिनी ले सकते हैं. So this nomination question is asked in once in the previous exam. So now you are also clear. So this type of questions can be asked. Let's move to next question. Question number 9. A customer is reported to have been missing for about 8 years and the legal heirs want the balance should be paid to them. There is no nomination in the account. So what the bank will do? Let's see the right answer. Bank cannot do so. Bank can do so as at its discretion. Bank can do so if date of death certificate is produced by the legal heirs. Bank can do so on the basis of presumption of death certificate issued by the court. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer of this question is D. That is, bank can do so on the basis of presumption of death certificate issued by the court. So let's move to next question. Question number 10. As per BCSBI Code of Commitment, the time schedule for settlement of death claim case is 5 days, 15 days, 30 days, 3 months. So let's see what is the right answer. So let's see what is the right answer, and the right answer is B, that is 15 days. So as per BCSBI Code of Commitments, for death claim that we have to settle within 15 days from the date of receipt of the claim, subject to the production of proof of death of the depositor and suitable identification of the claims to the bank discussion. Because here what happens that sometimes the questions can be asked like 15 days from the date of acceptance from the bank, from the date of receipt of the claim. So it will confuse you. So here 15 days from the date of receipt of the claim, and that is subject to production of all the required documents. So in this way, sometimes this question has been asked in the exam by confusing the candidates. So you should be very careful while answering. Let's see next question. Question number 11. Question number 11 is, Consumer Act has revised the pecuniary jurisdiction of the district, state and national consumer commission. As per the revised jurisdiction, the district commission now has the jurisdiction to entertain complaints where the value of goods and services paid as consideration does not exceed rupees dash. The state commission can entertain complaints valued above rupees dash, and complaints valued above rupees dash will need to be filed before national commission. So friends, in this question you have to tell the limits of the various commissions, that is state commission up to what amount it can consider the cases, and state commission and national commission. So first we'll discuss about the district commission. So please give your answer, because this question we have covered in our one of the previous video also. Today again we have come with this question, and it is a type of revision also for you. So first is district commission, and district commission can consider the case that does not exceed 1 crore rupees. Okay. And the state commission can go for the cases which is 1 crore, which is above 1 crore and up to up to 10 crores. Okay. And complaint valued above dash, so up to which the national commission will do, that is above 10 crores. So above 10 crore will be there, then it will be referred to the national commission. Okay. So remember these points, because this is very important, as it is a latest development, latest revision. Okay. So let's move to next question, that is related to limitation. सो फ्रेंड्स, लिमिटेशन पीरियड इन डिसऑनर्ड यूजांस बिल, तो जितने भी डिसऑनर्ड यूजांस बिल हैं उसमें लिमिटेशन पीरियड कितना होगा? और ऑप्शंस आर 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer of this question is C, that is 3 years. तो जो लिमिटेशन पीरियड है यूजांस बिल में, डिसऑनर्ड यूजांस बिल, अगर कोई डिसऑनर हो जाता है यूजांस बिल, तो उस केस में जो लिमिटेशन पीरियड है दैट इज 3 year. मीन्स लिमिटेशन पीरियड इज नथिंग बट इट इज द पीरियड अप टू दैट टाइम यू कैन ओनली फाइल द केस अगेंस्ट दैट कस्टमर और पार्टी. सो अगर किसी का बिल डिसऑनर हो जाता है एंड दैट इज यूजांस बिल, सो ही हैज 3 year टाइम. Within 3 years time he can file the case. So friend, this limitation act is very important and questions are asked from there. So let's discuss some of the points related to limitation period. So here we have some of the important points. Okay, so first is FD, fixed deposit. Fixed deposit में friends जो limitation time है that is 3 years and it starts after the date of presentation for payment by the depositor. तो जब भी डेट ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन जो है उसके बाद जो है 3 years. ओके, टीएल दैट इज टर्म लोन. टर्म लोन्स में जो लिमिटेशन पीरियड है वो है 3 years फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ ईच इंस्टॉलमेंट. ओके, एंड डिमांड लोन में भी 3 years है दैट इज व्हेन द लोन इज मेड. एंड डिमांड बिल में जो है दैट इज 3 year फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ बिल. फॉर मनी डिपॉजिटेड under an agreement that it shall be payable on demanded, that is 3 years, and from the when the demand is made, तो जब डिमांड मेड की जाएगी वहां से 3 years. सो यहाँ पे जो हमारे टॉप 7 है, ओके, डिसऑनर्ड यूजांस बिल 3 years फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ द पेमेंट. तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड नहीं पूछा जाएगा आपसे. इट विल बी समथिंग लाइक दैट, what is the limitation period in the dishonored usance bill. Like in our question we have the straightforward question, that is limitation period in the dishonored usance bill, and that is 3 years. But in the exam you may be asked like that, 3 years from the due date of the payment, 3 years from the date of the usance bill, 3 years from the date of the shipment. So many things will be put there to confuse you, but you don't have to be confused. You have to be very thorough with the things which you have studied, because here dishonored usance bill 3 years from the due date of payment. In the same way, cash credit hypothecation, CC account is there. There you have 3 years from the date of document, that is DPN. Okay. In fraud, any fraud is there. So there you can have 3 year limitation period from the date that fraud is detected. Okay. For possession of immovable property, mortgage by bank mortgage suit, like we do here possession, जब भी हम possession लेते हैं तो in that case the limitation period is 12 year from the date when the mortgagee money has become due. जिस डेट से borrower के पैसे ड्यू हैं उस डेट से आपके पास 12 years हैं as a limitation period. Execution of decree, if decree is there 12 years you have from the date of decree. Right of redemption 30 years from the date of adjustment of loan. By a mortgagee foreclosure 30 years when the money secured by the mortgagee becomes due. So these are some of the points which are very important with respect to our limitation period, and this limitation period give you 2 to 3 marks in the exam. So you should prepare it and revise it. You have already prepared but you have to revise it. Tomorrow only exam is there, huh? So let's see next question. If a bank wants to go in for appeal against decision of ombudsman, whose permission in the bank is required? Our options are board of directors, chief executive officer, CMD, or executive director, ALCO, asset liability committee, and general manager. No such permission is needed. Let's see what is the right answer of this question, and the correct answer is B, that is chief executive officer, CMD, or executive director. Let's move to next question. Question number 14. The customers are allowed immediate credit of their outstation instrument subject to compliance with certain condition. It was originally initiated their recommendation of on the recommendation of. तो किसकी recommendation से friends? This thing was in the banking. So our options are A, that is Talwar Committee, B, Narsimhan Committee, Gopai Goporia Committee, Rangarajan Committee. And let's see what is the right answer. Right answer of this question is A, that is Talwar Committee. So from committees also sometime questions are asked for 1 marks. So you should be prepared. Let's move to next question. Question number 15. If an endorser signs his name and adds a direction to pay the mentioned in the instrument, it is called. If an endorser signs his name and adds a direction to pay the amount mentioned in the instrument, it is called. उसे हम क्या कहेंगे? Our options are blank endorsement, restrictive endorsement, partial endorsement, endorsement in full. And the right answer of this question is D, that is endorsement in full. So let's move to next question. So friends, please mark your answers as I have already told you that you should write the counting 1 to 30. In this section, 30 questions are going to be discussed. So 1 to 30 counting should be there in your notebook, and you should be writing the answers yourself, and then you should be seeing the answers provided by me. And then share your score in the comment section. It will be very helpful for you as a revision point of view. Let's move to next question. Question number 16. What is the penalty for late filing of annual return under section 44 by a person registered under GST? As friends, you have seen that there is a topic of income tax, service tax. Now service tax is not there. Now GST is there. So one question is covered from GST also. You should read GST because from GST questions can be asked, and from income tax also questions can be asked. So you should be prepared, and you have already read all the things, I hope so. uh, if you have not read, don't worry. You don't have to get 100 marks out of 100. You only need 50 marks to clear the exam. And if you have good marks in your PPB and accounting, if you have their 50-50 marks in both subject, here if you will get 45 also, your exam will be cleared. So don't worry with that. So let's see this question. Okay, our options are A, 100 rupees per day subject to maximum of 0.25% of annual turnover in the state. Annual turnover in the state will not come, and annual turnover. Okay, 100 rupees per day subject to maximum 5,000 rupees, 25 per day subject to maximum 5,000 rupees, 50 per day subject to maximum 5,000. So let's see what is the correct answer of this question. And the right answer of this question is A, that is 100 rupees per day subject to maximum of 0.25% of annual turnover. Let's move to next question. Question number 17. Which act in India focuses on data privacy and information technology? Our options are Banking Regulation Act, IT Act 2000, Indian Penal Act, IT Amendment Act 2008. And the right answer of this question is D, that is IT Amendment Act 2008. This act deals with the data privacy and information technology. Let's move to next question. Question number 18. Question number 18 is, what is the punishment for identity theft in IT Act? If somebody has done the identity theft, so as per IT Act rules, what is the punishment? Our options are 2 years imprisonment or 1 lakh rupees penalty or both, 3 years imprisonment or 1 lakh rupees penalty or both, 3 year imprisonment or 2 lakh rupees penalty or both, none of the above. So let's see the right answer. And the correct answer is B, that is 3 year imprisonment or 1 lakh rupees penalty or both. So let's move to 19th question. 19th question is, Section 3A of the IT Act 2000 deals with digital frauds, digital signature, punishment under IT Act 2000, cyber crime. And the right answer of this question is B, that is digital signature. So section 3A of the IT Act deals with the digital signature. Let's move to next question. Question number 20 should be there. Here 19 is there. Okay, no problem. Let's see this question. Numbers are not issued, friends. Okay. In dash mortgage, the mortgager binds himself to repay the borrowed money on a certain date. The mortgager transfers the property absolutely to the mortgagee, but such transfer is subject to condition that the mortgagee will retransfer the property on repayment before the agreed date. So let's see our options. English mortgage, mortgage by conditional sale, simple mortgage, anomalous mortgage. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer of this question is, and the right answer of this question is A, that is English mortgage. So it is called English mortgage. In English mortgage, what happens? The mortgager bind himself to repay the borrowed money on a certain date. Okay, let's move to next question. Question number 20. Question number 20 is, which of the following mortgages does not require registration with registrar of assurance? Equitable mortgage, English mortgage, usufructuary mortgage, simple mortgage. And the right answer of this question is A, that is equitable mortgage. In equitable mortgage, we don't need any registration. Let's move to next question. Question number 21. As per RTA Act, CPIO or CAPIO shall either provide the information or reject the request as expeditiously as possible, and in any case within dash days of the receipt of the request. Failure to reply to the applicant will attract penalty under the act. So, and in how many days under RTI we have to give the details, that you have to give answer in how many days. And the right answer is 30 days. Within 30 days we have to provide the information under RTA, whether you provide information on or reject the request if it is not possible. So in this question, 30 days is the answer. So within 30 days, we have to provide the information under RTA. Let's move to next question, question number 22. The Central or State Information Commission can impose a penalty of rupees dash per day till the information is furnished, subject to maximum of dash rupees, subject to opportunity of being heard be given to such public information officer. So what is the penalty if the information is not provided? So what will be the penalty per day? And the penalty per day is rupees 250, and the maximum penalty that can be given, that is 25,000. So this is the right answer. This is also with respect to RTI. So from RTI also questions are asked, friends. Okay, so let's move to next question, question number 23. A company, whether be it a private company or a public company, would be required to appoint minimum one woman director in case it satisfies one or more of the following criteria. So here we have to see which criteria falls when a company has to appoint one woman, minimum one woman director. Let's see the options. The company is a listed company and its securities are listed on the stock exchange. The paid up capital of such company is INR 100 crore or more with a turnover of INR 300 crores or more. And C is both A and B, and D is none of the above. So let's see what is the correct answer of this question. And the right answer is C, that is both A and B. Okay, let's move to next question. Question number 24. As per section 165 of Companies Act, cannot a person cannot hold ऑफिस एज ए डायरेक्टर साइमultaneously इन मोर देन डैश कंपनीज. तो फ्रेंड्स एक टाइम पे जो एक पर्सन है वो कितनी कंपनीज का डायरेक्टर हो सकता है, मीन्स उससे ज्यादा का नहीं हो सकता. अवर ऑप्शन आर 5 कंपनीज, 10 कंपनीज, 20 कंपनीज, 50 कंपनीज. एंड द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज सी, दैट इज 20 कंपनीज. सो फॉर 20 कंपनीज one can be director, not more than that. Let's see our next question. Which of the following is not mentioned in article of association of a company? Our options are the rights and powers of the director, the rules of conducting meetings, the use of common seal. It, con- it contains details about the powers and rights of the company. So let's see which of the following is not mentioned in the article of association. And the right answer of this question is D. That is, it contains details about the powers and rights of the company. So this thing is not present in the articles of association. This thing is present where? This thing is present in the memorandum of association. Okay, article of association and memorandum of association can give you 1 to 2 marks. Definitely, questions are asked from there. So, due to that, friends, we have here some information related to memorandum of association and article of association. So, memorandum of association, also known as charter of the company or document of outdoor management. तो memorandum of association जो है वो हमें बताती है कि what is the outdoor management of the company, specifies relationship of the company with outside world. ये हमें बताती है कि एक कंपनी का जो है आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड से क्या रिलेशन है. द ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज सेट आउट द पावर्स which the company can exercise for achievement of its objective. तो इसमें कंपनीज के पावर्स के बारे में लिखा होता है. ए लोन given for an activity which is not stated in objective clause is unauthorized. तो जो भी लोन्स वगैरह जो लेने हैं एक कंपनी को, दैट ऑल थिंग्स आर गिवन इन मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. एंड ए लोन गिवन फॉर एनी एक्टिविटी विच इज नॉट स्टेटेड इन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लॉज इज अनऑथराइज. और अगर किसी भी कंपनी के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स में अगर वो एक्टिविटी के लिए लोन देने की बात नहीं की गई है और अगर हम देते हैं तो उसे हम कहते हैं अल्ट्रा वायर्स एंड कैनॉट बी रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम द कंपनी. तो उस केस में हम वो जो लोन है वो कंपनी से रिकवर नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड अल्ट्रा वायर्स. अल्ट्रा वायर्स मीन्स एनीथिंग डन बाय द डायरेक्टर्स बियॉन्ड द ऑब्जेक्ट स्टेटेड इन द मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. और फ्रेंड्स ये अल्ट्रा वायर्स वाला जो है क्वेश्चन बहुत बार पूछा जा चुका है. तो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस कि अल्ट्रा वायर मीन्स एनीथिंग डन by the company which is not stated in the objective clause. ओके वो चीज जो ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लॉज में नहीं है तो उस केस में हम कहेंगे दैट इज अल्ट्रा वायर्स. ओके, और इसमें फर्स्ट हमारा पॉइंट है एनीथिंग डन बाय द डायरेक्टर्स बियॉन्ड द ऑब्जेक्ट स्टेटेड इन द मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन. एंड अवर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज ए बी. ओके हियर नॉट दिस, our C point is this: borrowing powers of a company such that shareholder arise from MOA. These are unlimited. Notice can be issued to a company on its registered office address only. Similarly, charges on assets requiring registration with ROC are to be registered with that ROC under whose jurisdiction the registered office of the company falls. So these type of points are mentioned in the memorandum of association. So understand this thing, because memorandum of association and article of association is very important and questions are asked from here. So article of association, also known as document of indoor management. This document describes the regulations for carrying the objectives, activities and management of its internal affair as defined in its memorandum of association. Okay, तो ये चीज़ें जो है आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन में हैं। और उसके अलावा जो क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं, लेट्स सी। Article of association contain the rights and powers of the directors, the rules of conducting meetings, the use of common seal, the use of borrowing power, the nature of business, etc. And let's see next, certificate of incorporation. Certificate of incorporation is birth certificate of a company. कई बार फ्रेंड्स ये क्वेश्चन भी आता है कि which document is called birth certificate of company, and that is certificate of incorporation. Okay, it is issued by the Registrar of Companies (ROC) to all types of companies like private limited and public limited, etc. It is conclusive evidence that all formation of a company are duly complied. जब तक ये कंपनी ये सारी जो भी फॉर्मेलिटीज है उनको कंप्लाई नहीं करती है, तब तक फ्रेंड्स दिस सर्टिफिकेट of incorporation is not issued by the ROC. So when a company has a certificate of incorporation, that means that company has complied all the formation of a company evidence. Okay, all the things are complied. Certificate of commencement of business, it is also issued by registrar of company after ensuring that the minimum capital required by the company is subscribed by the public to all public limited company. Private limited companies are not required to obtain this certificate. तो ये जो है सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ बिजनेस, ये जो सर्टिफिकेट है फ्रेंड्स, ये जो है ये हमारा मेनली पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनीज के लिए होता है. ओके, लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट, रेजोल्यूशन ऑफ द बोर्ड. शेयर होल्डर्स आर द ऑनर्स ऑफ ए कंपनी, बट ए कंपनी फंक्शंस through its board of directors who represents shareholders, and the decision are taken by the board. No one else authorized to take decision on behalf of the company. Okay. As per Section 292, the Companies Act 1956, for a loan, a resolution should be passed in a duly held meeting of the board. Okay, and not by circulation. अगर हम किसी भी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी या पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी को लोन दे रहे हैं, देन वी नीड अ बोर्ड ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन. ओके, लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Question number 26. So friends, these were the some of the main points related to article of association, memorandum of association, and these some points which were very important with respect to our this exam. So let's see our question number 26. Which section of the NI Act deals with bill of exchange? Section 5, section 6, section 138, section 4. So let's see the right answer of this question. The correct answer is section 5 of NI Act. तो जो फ्रेंड्स सेक्शन 5 है हमारा, वो बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज से डील करता है. एंड सेक्शन 6, जो सेक्शन 6 है वो हमारा चेक जो है चेक से डील करता है. एंड सेक्शन 138 जो है दैट रिलेट्स टू डिसऑनर ऑफ द चेक. सेक्शन 4 ऑफ एनआई एक्ट जो है वो प्रोमिसरी नोट से रिलेटेड है. लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 27. Section 120, Section 143A of NI Act gives the court, while trying an offence for dishonor of a check, authority to direct the drawer of a check and interim compensation in circumstances of a summary trial or summons case wherein the drawer pleads to be not guilty, and upon the framing of any other charge, the amount of compensation payable cannot exceed dash of the amount as stated in the check. तो यहाँ पे आपको बताना होगा फ्रेंड्स कि कितने तक का जो कंपनसेशन है वो कोर्ट अलाउ कर सकती है एज ए इंट्रीम कंपनसेशन. So if you want the options, I can give the options also, and the options are 2% of the amount, 5% of the amount, 10% of the amount, 20% of the amount. And here the right answer will be 20% of the amount. तो जो 20% है अमाउंट का, वो एज ए इंट्रीम कंपनसेशन दैट कैन बी गिवन बाय द कोर्ट. ओके, लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 28. Banks, to implement the recommendation of the Goiporia Committee, dishonored instruments are to be returned or dispatched to the customer promptly without delay, in any case within dash hours. तो कोई भी फ्रेंड्स अगर डिसऑनर होता है चेक, तो वो हमें कितने घंटों के अंदर रिटर्न करना है. हाउ मेनी आवर्स? So here we are not talking about the days but hours. So let's see the options: 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. So let's see what is the right answer of this question. And the correct answer is 24 24 hours. तो 24 घंटे के अंदर हमें जो है चेक जो रिटर्न हुआ है वो पार्टी को वापस करना है. So let's move to next question. Question number 29. CRR and SLR are not applicable to a certificate of deposit, credit balance in a CC account, a flexi deposit, a commercial paper. So let's see what is the right answer. And the right answer is D, that is a commercial paper. तो commercial paper जो है उसमें CRR और SLR जो है applicable नहीं है. Let's move to next question. Question number 30. This is also the last question of the day. Under Dash Act, a copy of an entry in a banker's records certified by an officer of a bank may be treated as a prima facie evidence of a corresponding transaction in any legal proceeding. So, which is that act? Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, Banking Regulation Act 1949, Bankers Book Evidence Act 1891, Right to Information Act 2005. And let's see what is the right answer. And the correct answer of this question is C, that is बैंकर्स बुक एविडेंस एक्ट 1891. तो इसके अकॉर्डिंगली फ्रेंड्स, एक कॉपी ऑफ एंट्री इन ए बैंकर्स रिकॉर्ड, जो भी एक बैंक के रिकॉर्ड में कोई कॉपी है एंट्री की जो सर्टिफाइड है किसी ऑफिसर्स के द्वारा, उसे हम एक एविडेंस के रूप में ले सकते हैं रिलेटेड टू एनी ट्रांजेक्शन. So friends, this is a set of 30 questions, and I hope so you are benefited from these questions, and I also hope that you have marked your answers of these questions. So if you have marked your answer, please write your score in the comment section. And these questions are very important questions as exam point of view. So thank you, friends. Thanks for watching this video. And if you are benefited from this video, so please like this video and share this video with your friends who are preparing for JIB exam, and subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed, and press the bell icon to stay updated. And best of luck for your tomorrow's exam. Thank you, friends. Have a nice day.